Hello, my beautiful friend, and welcome to day 10 of our 21 days of prayer. I am so excited that you're here because we're praying, we're connecting, we're meditating, we're feeling good, and we are praying today for healing. Before I get into the prayer, I wanted to talk to you about the difference between healing and curing. Spirit's really been speaking to me about this, and I also wanted to share some of my own personal experiences regarding healing and curing. So healing is, and they're two different things, right? Maybe you didn't think about it, because oftentimes when we're thinking about healing or when we're praying for healing, what we're really wanting is a cure. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not that they're mutually exclusive. They're not. And getting on the inside of healing, right, can lead to a cure, but sometimes a healing will happen, but the cure won't. And that's what I really want to share with you. So healing, I know it's good stuff, right? So healing is getting in alignment with what is. It's coming to peace. It's tapping into that place of the peace that passes all understanding. Suffering happens in the mind and the body when we are fixated on a situation or a person or whatever it is. When we're fixated on something that and we want it to change, right? We want it to change. We want it to be different than how it is. And we create a lot of anxiety. And so we feel like then I can't come to peace until I get the cure. And Spirit is speaking to us right now. I know there's someone right now that's really understanding this, that really needs this message, that it's the healing that comes first, and the healing will create the cure. So sometimes the cure can take a little bit of time, right? Maybe you're praying for a cure for your cancer, as an example. So, which I don't take lightly, right? I'm not suggesting that you just say, oh, you just accept it. In accepting what is happening, in accepting the condition, it doesn't mean that you don't look for the cure, right? So we know that stress, anxiety, opposition, the suffering of holding on to these thoughts. Why does this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? This isn't fair. All of those kinds of thoughts, while normal, are adding to the suffering and actually keeping you further away from the cure. Haven't you ever had that experience where you're trying so hard, and finally you give up, you just let go, and then like the perfect person just shows up, or the perfect job just shows up right when you really just let go of it. And so that's what the healing is. The healing is the letting go of the internal suffering that is creating opposition. So what about the cure? So one of the recent experiences that I've had myself, right, I myself have had, is 4 years ago when, has it been 4 years? Maybe it's been 5 years now, almost 5 years, when I filed for divorce and my mother died all at the same time. It was very, very stressful, and a lot of suffering around that. I'm sure you can appreciate that. I had a lot of shame. I had a lot of guilt. I felt that the guilt came from this idea that maybe my mother had an accident. And so she had a stroke, she fell, she hit her head, and she never recovered from the fall and from the stroke. And so, in my mind, I thought, maybe me filing for the divorce caused this to happen. So there's all of these stressful thoughts, right, that are going on. And I have the children, so there was a lot of shame around the divorce. For those of you that have gotten divorced, I don't know about you, but nobody gets married thinking they're going to go through a divorce. And so I felt ashamed, that I had really failed. So there's all this stuff going on. The body is very intelligent. Stay with me now. This is such a good message. I'm so excited to share this with you. The body is very intelligent. And so I really, with Spirit's help and with all my meditation and all my spiritual practice and mindfulness practice, I soldiered through that to create a life of joy. And in the process, I started to develop melasma. Nobody in my family that I know has it. Right now, I look at my sister and I think she has it, but my mother didn't have it. She was Caucasian. My dad is black, so nobody had melasma, and I started to get it. So I'm not wearing any makeup. Maybe you can see it. I have a little bit of makeup on because the makeup helps to protect my skin. It's very sensitive, but big patches here, over here, here, and here. And at first I thought it was from waxing, so I just thought it would go away, but it progressively got worse. And I realized, stay with me now, that root chakra governs skin, typically, the largest organ. And the root chakra is security. I lost the security of my mother. I lost the security of my marriage. I had a lot of things going on. And so it manifested on my face. I couldn't hide it. I couldn't hide from myself, people. And so I was doing videos anyway and doing all this stuff. So anyway, I'm going through this thing and I have a lot of anxiety around, the melasma because it's not easy to cure. So I go to Bali. I know this is like such a good story. So I go to Bali last year, and my intention with going to the spiritual retreat, hear me now, was for healing. I wanted to heal my skin. I'm feeling more secure. I'm doing all of this stuff, but the cure hasn't been coming. And I'm anxious about it. I got to eat my own cooking here, and take my own spiritual medicine. Spirit's always teaching me something for sure. And so I go to Bali and this is my intention. I have this wonderful time and I receive my healing. I received the healing. All of a sudden, my anxiety around my skin, the story around my skin, around all of this that was going on just lifted. I'm not going to get into all the details, and it lifted. And I have felt such peace around it. Now, I am knowing that the condition is going to clear up. So what am I saying? The healing comes first. The healing comes first. Now I have something that I want to share with you that I'm feeling really, really guided to share. Spirit is speaking to me. Sometimes the healing will come and the cure won't. Okay? And that is as it is meant to be because the soul, the self is eternal. And so that person, right? Like I wanted my mother to live. I know she received a healing. I got all kinds of reasons to know it. I know she received the healing, and the healing allowed her to move from the body that was causing suffering. She was in a coma for a while, to move into the next state, into her full glory. I know that. I know that she received the healing, but it was time for her to leave her physical form. Okay, so this is why healing is so important, and this is why we get on the inside of it. This is why we understand it. It's why we hold ourselves in the healing space, and knowing that we live in a world that is kind. We live in a world that is mysterious. And I don't know why some people receive the cure and come back from these crazy odds and other people don't. It's very individual to the soul. And so this is what I'm offering you today. Every individual is on her divine path. And if there is healing to be had, the healing is to honor that individual path that we're all on, right? We all have our own individual path. Not to compare somebody else's healing to mine or their cure to mine. How come they got over this? How come they found the perfect person and I haven't had that yet? There must be something wrong with me. That's all story. It's all suffering. And so right now in our prayer, let's take a hot breath together. So inhale and exhale. Right now in our prayer, we release the need to compare. We let go of the anxiety, of the anxiousness, and instead we move into the knowing that we are well cared for and that all of our needs are being met in this moment. And so we align. We align with the will of our soul. We align with the will of spirit. We release the suffering around whatever needs to be healed, whether it is a relationship, whether it is a job, whether it is financial, whether it is physical, emotional, or spiritual. We are in alignment with the truth. We release the suffering around these situations, knowing that we are daughters of the Most High, daughters and sons of the Most High, and that Spirit is working for us by working in us and working through us. And so we know that as we come to this healing place, that we are attracting and are attractive to the resources. We are attractive to and the resources that will help to uplift us, that will help with the upliftment. And we release all barriers to that. And so now that we know this, we can rest. We can rest in the knowledge that the healing has happened. The healing has happened. We can rest in the knowledge that life is kind. Life is working for us by working through us, working in us. And in this state of repose, we receive. We can receive. And we give thanks. We give thanks to life, to the life that lives us and the life that breathes us. We give thanks to this medium that allows us to connect through time and space so that we can commune together in spirit. We give thanks for the learnings that we are receiving or that we have received from whatever our particular situation is, knowing that all is for our highest good. All is done for us, not to us. And so we give thanks for this knowing. And together we say, and so it is. And so it is, my beautiful friend, my beautiful, beautiful friend. I will see you next time for day 11 of our 21 days of prayer. All right. Mwah.